Massive action TV show. I am honored. I'm excited. I know y'all guys don't really see me smile much because I'm talking about all types of crazy issues within, New York City transit, the labor, and all this other stuff. But I am happy today to have the first Black NFL referee, Maia Chaka. Welcome to the show. Let me put some claps for you. I don't know if you can hear it, but my guest can hear it. How you doing today?
I'm well. How are you?
You here? God is good. I feel great. When I first came, I don't know how I came across you. I don't know if I seen you at a game. I don't know if it was the Giants game or something this season because I have season tickets to the Giants, and I'm like, hold on, what's going on here? When did this happen? Because I didn't know anything about it. And I said, I was just so happy, smiling. Like when I got home, I said, hold on, let me see. And then I started following which games you were going to be at, and just trying to keep track of, what you're doing. Because I think that it's phenomenal for you to even break the barrier of being the first Black NFL referee. But before we even get into that, could you let the people know who's watching, where you from? We don't want to ask your age, but where you from, where you grew up at, and let's start there.
Yeah, sure. So, for me, I was born and raised in Rochester, New York, so upstate New York, and I lived there for pretty much most of my life, for about maybe 22 years, and I moved, and I'm now in Virginia. So a lot of cold, ice cold winters for myself, but that's just me, born and raised pretty much in the inner city.
In the inner city. So when you was young, growing up, like, were you into sports? Did you play any sports?
I played everything except football. Well, I played football, just in the neighborhood, what they call it, sideline pop, when you actually play inside the streets, two-hand touch. Then when you get to the grass, it's tackle. So a little sideline pop, some shoot 'em up, bust 'em up, like some little, little playground football, but nothing when I had to put the pads on and actually play. My number one sport was basketball. I also did volleyball, track, softball, but basketball was naturally my number one sport.
Did you play? Did you join any teams, or you part of any school teams or anything like that?
When I played basketball?
Yes.
I played varsity all 4 years of high school. I didn't graduate high school on time. I had to go to summer school. I was a bit of a knucklehead, so I missed out on some opportunities to play at some universities, straight out of high school, and I had to end up going the JUCO route. And
which JUCO?
I did the JUCO. I went to Finger Lakes. It's in Canandaigua. So I had to pretty much pay my way through JUCO. So that's the only one I could afford at that time. I didn't want to be stuck. So I just created an opportunity for myself by, just going to the school I can afford, and that would take me away from my environment, so I can do something different, focus on something. So I ended up moving to.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I said no, and then from there I ended up moving to Norfolk, Virginia. I had the opportunity to play at Norfolk State. I just chose not to because I had so many other priorities that were in front of me. And women athletes don't make a lot of money out, fresh out of college. So I had to find a way to support myself.
So when you talk about troubles that you may have faced growing up, what kind of troubles did you face growing up that could have jeopardized what you're doing now?
I didn't really go to class my senior year of high school. I didn't want to get up. I was tired. I was working. I was working fast food plus playing ball, just trying to take care of things and make ends meet on my own and not necessarily making school a priority. I was prioritizing everything else as opposed to me prioritizing my schoolwork. So I just, didn't go to class and then, didn't dot my T's and dot your I's and cross your T's.
Exactly. And what position did you play?
I was mostly a wing, like a 2-3. I could play the 1, I could play the 4 if it was small ball, because I'm only 5'9".
Only 5'9", that's tall for a woman.
Yeah. That's short for basketball now. To be a wing, you gotta be like 6 foot. So I don't even fit the mold anymore. I'm washed. So
Nah, I don't think you washed.
Yeah.
I don't think you washed. See, I know you. See, I was looking at some of your pictures. I know that you're New York. Like you was in a gym with Tim's on. So I said, yeah, She got like that Brooklyn. She got like that Brooklyn vibe to her. Not Rod. I don't know what's going on in Rochester, but I said, hold on. She got the varsity jacket. She got the Timbs and the jeans on. Yeah,
same thing. It's the same thing. But I mean, I spent a lot of summers in Brooklyn. I have family there, friends there. So I spent time in the city, but really, high school and everything, I was, upstate.
Okay, got you.
But
now, this is perfect. When I spoke to you, say your boss, she scheduled the interview for February, and I thought that it was a great idea, being that it's Black History Month. This was your first season in the NFL, and you actually broke barriers yourself as being the first Black woman to referee in the NFL. Is this month special to you this time around?
You know what? It's really special to my family. I have nephews, and they love being able to go to school and brag about they actually know somebody that they can speak about. So like normally, and no diss to any, any of the history makers, but when you go to school, they normally talk about like the older generation for Black history, and they ignore a lot of the current things. And so for my family members to actually be able to speak on me and say, hey, I know somebody that's current, that means something. And then also, I'm still working in education, and, live and in the flesh, I'm still working with some youth that are actually struggling, like with their own, pretty much the same battles that I had my senior year. And I'm sitting right there in front of them, and I'm like, listen, I'm speaking from experience. This is where I'm at. I'm a part of history. Follow my footsteps. I'm giving you like cheat codes to life right now. And so, it's special to me in that way.
Yeah. So at what point in your life that you said, you know what, I want to be a referee, not even a regular referee, but I want to go the NFL route? At what point did that actually hit you to say, this is what I want to do and I'm going to get it?
I would say probably when I started officiating Division I football, because when, I started officiating just pretty much like on a little dare. I used to heckle the referees really bad in like rec games and intramural games. And one of them told me if I thought I could do the job or I could do it better than him, I should try it. And so that's how I started, like how the spark for wanting to officiate came about. And then a colleague introduced me into it and taught me into going the football route and not the basketball route, because there weren't any women doing it. And so I didn't really have an end goal at the time. I was just doing it really, to make some extra money. Thought it was fun. It was a challenge because I never played organized football. So it's just a challenge for me to, have to learn how to master something. I've never been a part of that world. And once I went to Division I was working at Conference USA. Everybody who trains you are NFL officials, and they're NFL affiliated. And then just to know that I now have my foot in the door and this is an opportunity, I'm taking this. That's just the way I looked at it right then and there. It became a reality.
So being a woman referee, period, no matter on what level it is, did you have any pushback from men? Like, were parents giving you or spectators giving you the same vitriol you was giving referees when you were a spectator?
Yeah, but I mean, I think with the spectators, they just give all referees that. I don't think it had anything to do with me being a woman. It was just them, nobody likes referees. They don't. Like, when your team loses, we're normally the first people that get blamed, right? And it's not even our fault, especially when we talk about little league and high school games. The refs is always cheating. So nobody likes us. So I guess it takes a lot of courage for me to do, to have a profession when we're highly disliked. But yeah, I haven't received any direct kickback. I'm pretty sure people have said some things about me, but
How about your colleagues, your referee colleagues? Did you ever feel anything because you were a woman doing it?
Absolutely. On every level, there's always been something, or, they've always felt uncomfortable around me, not only because I'm a woman, because, there's also an age difference and I'm a Black female. So if you look at it, when I first got into doing Division I college football, I think I was 29 years old. And most of the officials that I was working with, were white men in their 40s. That's a huge gap. And a lot of them are from Texas and other red states. And they listen to country music. So there was a whole culture vibe that was just off, that I had to learn how to be a part of and be appreciative of other people's cultures. So that was a challenge. And yeah, I know that someone felt some type of way about me when I first started working. You know, I love my big hoop earrings and my ponytails. And that was something that I just couldn't have, like when I first came in the door. You know, I couldn't go in with the big curly ponytail and the door knockers and all that stuff. You couldn't wear that. I had to really become real conservative in order for them to see me in a different light.
And you talking about what level? Before the NFL?
Every level. Yeah, wow. college and actually like the NFL, like early. You know, those are some things, because the NFL is corporate, right? It's very conservative. It's corporate America. And a lot of the things that we do within our culture isn't really accepted in corporate America. It's becoming more acceptable now. But, you know, back, and even in that, this is like back in 2013, 2014, it really wasn't that acceptable. So yeah, always straight hair, you know, the earrings no bigger than a quarter. There were all kinds of things that I did in order to be job ready.
Yeah, that's interesting. So like what step is it before the NFL? Like, is it college? How does that work? Like, what's the criteria to be an NFL referee?
So normally the way that everybody starts doing high school, right? Everybody starts high school, JV, varsity. Then eventually you work up and you do about small college, Division 3, Division 2, small Division 1, and then a Power 5, right? So small Division 1 is like Conference USA, the MAC, those conferences. And then right below it, you have your HBCU conferences, right? SWAC and MEAC. And then your Power 5 conferences are like Pac-12, ACC, SEC. So normally the criteria is you have to have, I don't even know what the years of experience are, but you have to be working in a Power 5 conference in order to get hired into the NFL. You can be in one of those lower level conferences to get looked at, because I was in Conference USA when I was recruited, and they were looking at me. But in order for me to qualify to be in the NFL, I had to work in a Power 5 conference, and I ended up working in the Pac-12 outside of Conference USA.
Now, did you have any mentors? Like, did any like other referees that had time on the job, so to speak, to say, hey, you need to do things like this, or you need to do this to get through this door? Did you have anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's what helped me break down this barrier. I had one mentor specifically that this is all I listen to. His name is Chuck Stewart, and he's from LA. And this is so crazy because, you know, I'm from Virginia. I'm on New York and Virginia. I'm on the East Coast, but I had to get a mentor that was on the West Coast, because this is somebody who spoke my language, and I know that he had my back without a shadow of a doubt. And with him, he's almost like the godfather of like Black officials. It's crazy. With him taking me under his wing, he pretty much told me out the get-go, he says, I need you to listen to everything I tell you. Don't question what I tell you. Just do it. You're going to get better. We're going to get you to this level, right? And he didn't want anything from me other than to make me the best version of me that I could be and get me to the league. He didn't want anything. And I did. I listened to him, you know, and he got me over that hump and turned me into a professional, and I'm forever grateful for it.
I mean,
you know,
that's beautiful, you know, being in the male dominated space, and someone to take you up under their wing to say, hey, you know, this is how it's supposed to work, and things like that. Do you guys have a union?
We do, actually. So once we are a part of the league, we do have a union. So
and how
NFLRA.
How's your union representation? Because that's my specialty. I specialize in union representation. Like, what would a ref need a union rep for?
I mean, everybody needs a union rep when you're on a job, right? Because there's so many different entities. Players have a union rep, and then the league has one, and then of course we have to have one. So you need one, you know, to cover yourself for just any job incidents, and making sure you have a voice, right?
Yeah, but what kind of incident could a ref get in? You know, need.
Well, first of all, we want to make sure that we have all the proper equipment to go out and be able to work, right?
Gotcha.
So if we're working these games like sub-zero or freezing temperatures, they want to make sure that the league provides us with the appropriate equipment, so that we're not coming out of pocket for that, right? Takes care of us in terms of what we need, what should be in our contract, how much we get paid a game, how much different things like retirement packages, just pretty much everything that you need as an employee. You need somebody that's separate from the league to be able to negotiate those things for you.
Interesting. And how many years you have to work before you guys can retire?
You can retire whenever you want, but it's best to try to put in 20. If you're able to make it to 20, that's when you receive like most of your benefits.
So you plan on putting in 20 years here?
That's the plan.
I hear that. Now, you're not going to be able to see this, but my viewers are going to be able to see this. I grabbed 3 pictures. I don't think people know how much of a fashionista that you are. I mean, your style. I just put up one picture. Look how beautiful she dressed. She has a lot of style. She bring out the leather skirts. She travel in fashion. Look like you got a nice big body Benz over there. We're not gonna talk about that though. We're gonna focus on the fashion. Where did you get your sense of fashion from? Because it stands out. It's not something that, I think an NFL referee, I will not think, someone with such great fashion sense. Where you get your fashion sense from?
Mary J and Wu-Tang.
Whoa.
Like,
I understand Mary J, but you got to explain the Wu-Tang to me.
I don't know, like Wu-Tang. I mean, just Wu-Tang, they just a little different. They like, I love wallabies, and I haven't taken a picture of my wallabies. Like, I love them. Like, but I mean, it's just like really just like, feeling yourself, and like feeling your own vibe. Like, I don't really try to fit in anybody's lane, trying to be prim and proper. I just really go with what I'm feeling that day. And I think like that's like the most organic way for you to come about doing things. And not to say Mary J and Wu-Tang, because that's what I listened to heavy, like when I was going through school. And of course, like the whole Bad Boy era was on there, like Total was heavy, stuff like that. It's like, I mean, I'm hip hop to the core.
You got some bars?
Not have any bars. I was just joking with you.
No bars.
No bars, man. I don't want y'all to joke me.
Oh, no. We don't want that. So, game day. How does Maia prepare for a game?
Sleep. That's really the main thing is to catch up on sleep. So on a Sunday, let's say we have a 1:00 kick, right? I'm in the city the day before. So I'm in the city on Saturday. I try to get the earliest flight in on Saturday because I still work during the week. I still work Monday through Friday. So Saturday I catch the first flight out. So as soon as I get to my hotel, I go to sleep. Well, I order my Uber Eats, and it's normally like juices or something. I try to like juice before, that whole weekend. Mm-hmm. And so I get that delivered. And I sleep the day away. I look at the training tapes that are put out by the league in order to prepare. When we wake up first, we have a pregame meeting, like our crew meets like on a Saturday when we first come in, and we talk about things that we did well and things we need to improve on from the game before. And then we talk about the teams that we're getting ready to work and, tendencies that those teams have and how the coach likes for us to communicate. So all that's done the day before the game. Mm-hmm. Game day is really long. I probably wake up maybe 7:00 in the morning, 6:37. We do a crew devotion around 8:00 in the morning. So just a little prayer, a little fellowship. And then we go for breakfast, and then we depart to the stadium like at 9:30, we're going to the stadium. And then we're there at the stadium all the way to the game end. So it's a 1:00 kick. We're probably done right around 4. And then from there, we go straight to the airport from the stadium.
As an officiating crew.
You guys as an officiating crew, yeah.
Oh, that's dope. So, like, what do you do to keep in shape, though? Because you guys are running all over the place, and there's no subs for what happened if you guys get tired or something? Like, what do you do to stay in shape, to run up and down? And
you got to take care of your body in the off season, like jogging, stretching, a lot of yoga, a lot of Pilates, a lot of just like functional stretching. So a lot of times we can get stretched out like by different people on the team, like the whole team. If we need to, we can get treatment there if we need it. So, it's a job. They take care of us. But it's pretty much about what you put in your body. And of course, like I said, like the preparation, first thing I do is I make sure I get my juices. I get my greens and stuff in.
What's your favorite drink?
That weekend when I land.
What's your favorite drink?
Anything. My favorite combination is probably got to be like spinach, apple, pineapple with a splash of ginger, or something like spinach night lemon. It always has to have the spinach in it,
Gotcha.
but you can't taste the spinach.
Now, do you work like football season? Do you work every week, or do they give you like a week off? Like, how does that work?
So we work this year, we have 18 weeks, and I work 16 out of the 18, plus all 3 preseason games. So that's 19 out of a possible, what is that, 22, 21, 19 out of 21 weeks that you could work. And so what they do is in the beginning of the year, they tell you the weeks that you're off. They say, okay, they don't give you your assignments, but they just let you know, hey, you're off week 7 and week 12 or week 7 and 14 so that you can plan what you're going to do on your off weeks during that time. Mm. And so that's pretty helpful. But other than that, you're just, even though you have off weeks, just prepare to always work every week because you never know what happens, especially with COVID going around.
Got you.
So you can fill in at any time.
Now, how has COVID affected the game itself as far as like the officiating crews? Like, do you guys get tested the same way that the players get tested?
Yeah, so we're tested. We have to send a test off every, like, early in the week, every Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, and it gets done overnight. They let us know our results. And if they come back clear, then we can go ahead and travel to our game, and then we're good to go. If they come back with some type of funky results, and we're not cleared, you have to take multiple tests within that sequence in order to be cleared to go. And if you don't pass clearance, then they just get somebody to sub in for you. Oh, wow. And those are some moving pieces. Yeah.
Wow. Now, you mentioned earlier that you have a job outside of being an NFL referee, and you work in a school. How has that affected your normal life outside of being on the field?
I don't have any time to myself, it seems like. I have like 80-hour work weeks for the most part, but luckily I love everything I do, right? So I would think that would be the biggest thing, is just like how time consuming everything has become. And I never, like, I've been working football and teaching together for the past 15 years. This year was very tough because this was the longest season I've ever been a part of for football. We went from July to January, no break. Right. And then on top of that, I received a newfound, status where everybody wants to be able to know me or get a piece of me, and you don't want to shun people because, having people to support you is very important. But it's now trying to find that you time in between all that and still trying to make everybody happy.
Do people knock your door down for tickets?
They try. I don't have many. But it's tough. I work with a crew that was very helpful, but
Now I know
it was hard to get into NFL games this year, man, because this is the first year they have fans back in the year. A lot of their games were sold out.
Well, not the Giants. My team sucked, so it was easy to get into Giants games. Matter of fact, I couldn't give away tickets. How about that? I could not give away tickets.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I mean, it's all good. I got it tattooed on my head, so I'm gonna have to die with it. Unfortunately, but you can
just wear Scullies, man, the whole time.
Nah. We don't pick and choose. I was happy when they won they 2 Super Bowls, and I got to take the wins with the losses. That's what we do over here. We take the wins with the losses over here. And I know you prefer sunny weather, sunny games versus the cold ones.
How do you know that? They all pay the same, though.
I hear that.
I will say this. I actually prefer dome games. I like to be where I can work in a dome where the weather and the climate is controlled. But I'll take whatever.
Do you have a favorite stadium or city that you like to go to?
I don't actually, because I haven't been to them all yet. I've only been to a couple. But I will say, SoFi is great. Like that's a great stadium. I've worked there. It's just amazing because it's the newest one that we have, and they have great accommodations. And then I will say that just the history and the nostalgia behind Lambeau Field, like in Green Bay, that's just a really cool atmosphere and really cool environment to work in because those people are just all about Green Bay. They're all about their team.
Did you ever have to break up a scuffle?
Like when they were actually throwing punches.
When they about to mix it up.
I get into the mix.
Oh, you get into
absolutely.
the mix?
I get in there. I get in there.
Oh, you better. You from New York. I don't want to hear nothing.
As long as it's not linemen, I get in between some DBs and receivers all day. Those big boys, I'm not going in there.
You're not going in there
I've had my foot stepped on before, and I'm not gonna do that again.
Yeah, y'all wear sneakers, so they got on cleats and all this other kind of crazy stuff. Man, it's like watching you, do your thing. I was trying to catch as many games, that you were officiating, as possible. And I just think that is so phenomenal. And there's only one more other woman NFL referee. That's correct?
That is correct.
Did you guys create a bond, being that you are the only two women in the league?
Well, the crazy thing is we actually came up together. So we actually worked in Conference USA together. She was maybe about 2 or 3 years ahead of me. In Conference USA, we also started the NFL development program together. Like, she was just a year ahead of me in that. Like, she started in 2013, I started in 2014. So quite naturally, by us being the only two women that we're in, we were default roommates for the longest. And, so it's always love in between us.
Got you. So I know that, like, this was your first year. I know people stop you in the airport for pictures. I see your Instagram following is increasing, rightfully so, because even if you wasn't an NFL referee, I think that you have a very nice page just off of the fashion alone.
Thank you.
How are you taking in this newfound, I won't say fame, but let's just call it fame. Like, how do you take it in? Taking
in all the hype?
Yeah.
And that's really different to me, because I'm really not a big social media person. And I used to I love to just stay to myself in, like, the quiet time. Like, I don't do anything for clout or anything like that. So this is all brand new, knowing that I do have people that are looking at me, and that I do have to be mindful of the things that I say and I do in public. Not that I'm doing anything that's, out of the ordinary or disrespectful, but just knowing that you have that extra spotlight on you always challenges me to make sure I have my best foot forward.
As you should. When is your birthday?
It's in April. I'm an Aries.
Yeah, I'm not into. I don't know. I don't even know Virgo. I'm a Virgo.
Okay.
I just know Virgo. You say you like to stay to yourself. I said, that sounds like something that I like to do. We don't like too much attention. Do you have children?
I do not. I've never given birth.
Okay, that's cool. Because it would have been interesting to know, like, your child, like, are they into the sport? Like, you got brothers and sisters?
I got an older sister, younger brother. So my brother has a nephew. My brother has a son, so that's my nephew. And he loves sports. He loves football, basketball. And I have cousins that I raise that are like my kids, but they live, in Texas. I live in Virginia. And they love sports as well. So
that's cool. Anything in the off season, before I ask you that, is there a 10-year process as far as, like, who gets to referee playoff games? Like, being that you knew they wouldn't ask you to officiate on playoff games?
Right. So rookies are not eligible to work postseason.
Got you.
But I will be eligible to work postseason either on field or as an alternate next season.
Got you.
And there is a grading process that goes about with that. So it's not just your years of service. It's really how you evaluate.
Got you. And they basically hold, if a official miss a call or anything like that, that goes on your report card, I'm figuring, whatever that.
For the most part. One call really isn't going to be too damaging. It's like the multiples of, like, the same call that's really damaging. It averages out throughout the year.
Now, do they ask some people just not to come back? Like, look, you did a horrible job. I think that this is not for you.
Yeah, you think every job, people get fired on their job all the time, right?
You're right.
So
you're right. That's when the union come into play. Yeah, we got to hold up. You can't just fire him like that.
Exactly.
It was something in his eye. I think something was wrong with his eye. Maybe you guys need to get him some LASIK or her some LASIK surgery to improve some better vision or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, the union and labor part, is very, very important. You ever got any vitriol from the players because they felt that you missed the call?
Yeah, of course. But that's the nature of the game, though. Like,
but you don't think they take it easy on you? Like, she's a woman, we can't say what we normally say to the men.
No. No.
Oh, really?
They do not care. Like they just say, miss, come on now. They plead their case. You know, you say what you saw, and you know, as long as you stay consistent with it, they gonna respect it. You know, if you really feel deep down inside you probably missed it, just tell them like, hey, I didn't see it. I didn't see it that way.
Gotcha.
You know, you just got to be straightforward with them. You know, They can't sugarcoat nothing. These is millionaires. This is their livelihood.
Got you. Yeah.
You know, they got incentives and bonuses built on to, you know, they catches and how many tackles they make and turnovers and things like that. Or, you know, so you got to take that into consideration when you're dealing with these players.
Cool. So a couple of more questions. How did you feel about the Super Bowl performance?
It was bomb.
The people that we grew up on was there, right?
Absolutely, man. Snoop still looks like Snoop.
I love Snoop. Snoop is one of my favorite artists. Mary J, you know, Dr. Dre. I absolutely loved it. I think it was a step in the right direction as far as like, you know, with the NFL is concerned. Yeah, but I love the Super Bowl also. What is your plans for this off season?
Well, I just started my own nonprofit, which is Make Meaningful Change, MMC. And it's a community engagement organization. And what we do is we are going to have a lot of just events like for teens, like, you know, between the ages of like 12, 17, 18. We want to provide some educational enrichment and also bring like some programming to these people to kind of sort of put that bug in their mind that they can succeed and, you know, just expose them to a different world. And like, you know, I'm like one of those kids, you know, I grew up, like I said, the inner city, you know, I had a couple struggles, but, you know, I'm living somebody's dream right now.
Facts.
And a lot of these kids, they won't think that their dreams can be realities unless you expose them to that world. Fact. So you just got to take them outside of the normal box that they're looking at and trying to just, you know, bring my lifestyle to them so they can aspire to be bigger than what they are.
That's beautiful. Me, you know, seeing you, you know, as an NFL ref, first Black NFL. I love saying that, by the way. Your inspiration to me to show that almost anything is possible, you know. And I'm quite sure, you know, I started promoting this show yesterday, and, you know, a lot of people hit me up. It was like, you really going to have her on the show? And because like I said, I normally don't do this, and a lot of women were happy. And she dipped off. I don't know what happened. Yeah, they've been working against me. Actually, I'm shadow banned right now on Facebook because I've been doing too much of that vaccine stuff. So they knocked me down a little bit. So I got to try to bring. Yeah. I've been all over the country. I just came back from Texas. We doing something in California next month. I've been working with Robert F. Kennedy, and a whole bunch of other Dr. Robert Malone, and, you know, traveling the country doing this stuff. But I'm about to bring it back home to labor. Got to get back to this. But like I said, you're an inspiration. I'm very happy to have you on the show. I would like for you to send me some information regarding your not-for-profit, and I want to help push that out there because it's very important. What your company stands for, and you're a living testament of what your company stands for. And I would like to see you give some fashion tips, teach people how to put things together. Or you don't want to let that secret out?
I don't really have fashion. I like 3 things. Well, four. I like about 5 things, right? I like animal print, camouflage, lumberjack plaid, and leather, and hoop earrings. You just mix that up. You mix that up, you can pretty much get anything, right?
No. No. We're not gonna make it seem that easy, because you make it look easy, but it's not that easy. You know, so we not gonna let people be looking out here looking all, oh, Maia said that if you do this, that, then you looking like a train wreck going down the block. We can't do that. We can't do that. But it was a pleasure having you.
You can't wear all those prints at one time, though, man.
See, look, that's what I'm talking about. They need some direction. You can't just be saying things and putting it out there and think that it's going to work. But you're a phenomenal woman. I'm proud of you. Happy Black History Month, and I'm proud to have you as my first guest. I didn't want to do nobody else. I got some rappers lined up, some big rappers lined up. I didn't want to do anyone else until I got to you, to be honest.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
You know, I really appreciate it. Hold on, Maia. I'm going to get off of this. Thanks for tuning in to the Progressive Action TV show. Hope you guys enjoyed this. This is something different than what we normally do. I'm proud. I couldn't relinquish this opportunity to not have her on. I'm happy that she came on. I'm proud of her accomplishments. You guys know what to do. Tune into Progressive Action TV. We will be live every week moving forward, and I'll catch you guys later.